90 miles. That's the only thing standing between the United States military and Cuba right now. 90 miles of open water. And tonight, that water is filled with American warships. No press conference, no warning, no diplomatic note delivered at the last minute. Just movement. Cold, deliberate, unstoppable movement. Carrier strike groups repositioning in the Florida Straits. Submarines running silent beneath them. And at airfields across the southeastern United States, aircraft engines spinning up in the dark while Marines in full combat kit walk across tarmacs and climb the ramps of C-17s already pointed south. This is not a drill. This is not a show of force. The United States military has crossed the line from posture to action, and right now, in real time, you are watching it happen. Here is exactly what is unfolding. Down every hallway in the barracks of the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, lights snap on. 30 minutes, full kit, no phones. Marines who know the difference between a readiness exercise and the real thing understand immediately. This is the real thing. You can see it in the duty sergeant's face. Nobody is explaining anything because when the moment actually arrives, explaining is finished. 20 minutes later, the barracks are empty and the flight line is full. Marines in full combat load. Body armor, helmets, M4 carbines, assault packs with 3 days of ammunition and rations are lined up beside C-17 Globemaster III airlifters whose engines are already running. Ground crews push the last equipment pallets up the ramps. Light armored vehicles are strapped down in cargo bays. The ramps close. The first C-17 rolls to the runway and doesn't slow down. It lifts off into the black Florida sky and banks hard south. The second follows before the first clears the field boundary, then the third, then the fourth. A continuous stream of aircraft, each one carrying Marines toward a single destination. Guantanamo Bay, American soil, the southeastern tip of Cuba, 90 miles from everything that comes next. 100,000 tons of nuclear-powered warship in the Florida Straits, and its flight deck has not stopped moving for 6 hours. Yellow jersey directors guiding FA-18 Super Hornets into catapult position. Red jersey ordnance crews doing final checks on aircraft already loaded. AMRAAMs on the wing stations, JDAMs on centerline, targeting pods live. The electromagnetic aircraft launch system fires and a Super Hornet goes from 0 to 165 miles per hour in 2 seconds, climbing hard off the bow. Before that aircraft clears the ship, the next one is already in the catapult. The Ford generates 33% more sorties per day than any previous carrier. Today, every single one is being used. The first wave airborne is not a strike package. It is an ownership package. FA-18s climbing to altitude and spreading into a patrol grid above Cuba. Their mission is total: own the sky. Any Cuban aircraft that attempts to get airborne will be identified the moment its wheels leave the runway. It will not reach altitude. The Cuban Air Force runs aging MiG-29s on a fraction of proper maintenance. The math does not work in their favor. Behind the fighters, EA-18G Growlers climb away loaded with jamming pods and harm anti-radiation missiles. Their job is to fill every Cuban radar frequency with noise, blind every air defense screen on the island before the strike elements move in. Below, MH-60R Seahawks drop sonar buoys in a continuous pattern around the strike group. Nothing approaches this carrier underwater without being heard first. The Ford is not alone. To the east, the USS Harry S. Truman holds the Windward Passage. A third strike group closes from the south. Between them, every exit from the island is covered. Cuba is surrounded by sea, by air, and by the combined firepower of 3 American carrier strike groups in coordinated lockstep. The first C-17 touches down at Guantanamo as the horizon begins to lighten. The ramp drops before the aircraft stops rolling and Marines are moving immediately, off the ramp onto a base that has been in preparation for days. Ammunition supply points established. A tactical operations center already running, walls covered in maps and satellite imagery of the Cuban coastline. No confusion, no wasted motion. Every Marine moves directly to a pre-assigned staging area. Weapons checked, vehicles fueled, radio nets confirmed, squad leaders briefing teams over aerial imagery of the landing zones ahead. From the south, the USS Bataan is already in position. A Wasp-class amphibious assault ship with its well deck flooded, ACV-30 amphibious combat vehicles staged inside, engines running, crews sealed in and waiting. On the flight deck above, Marine F-35Bs are armed in ground attack configuration, GBU-12 paveway laser-guided bombs, AMRAAM missiles for self-defense, pilots strapped in and running checklists. One by one, the F-35Bs lift vertically off the deck, pivot, and accelerate hard toward the Cuban coastline. Radar installations, communications towers, military vehicle concentrations identified by reconnaissance hours earlier. The targeting systems are already locked. The pilots are executing. The order comes at 0847. The well-decked doors of the USS Bataan swing open. Ocean ahead. The first ACV-30 rolls off the ramp and crashes into the Caribbean. Tracks churning, hull riding the swells, oriented toward shore and moving. Behind it, a second, a third. A line of armored vehicles crossing open water toward the southeastern coast of Cuba, while AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters sweep ahead at low altitude. Hellfire missiles ready, scanning every meter of beach and tree line. The beach arrives fast. ACVs power straight through the surf zone, tracks biting sand, vehicles going from sea to land without stopping. Ramps drop. Marines sprint into ankle-deep water and drive up the beach, spreading into fire teams, each man covering the next, moving inland with the momentum of a force that has been coiled for this moment and is now releasing everything. This is not a peaceful landing. Smoke rises from positions inland where the F-35B strikes hit minutes ago. From a tree line ahead, the crack of small arms fire. Marines move toward it in bounding overwatch. Above them, an AH-1Z banks hard and sets up a gun run. The 20mm cannon opens up. The fire stops. The beach is secured. More ACVs are already in the water behind the first wave. Another C-17 is on final approach to Guantanamo. On the Ford, the third strike package of the morning is launching. In under 8 hours, the United States has established air dominance over Cuba, sealed every exit by sea, and put Marines on the ground pushing inland. The sky is American, the sea is American, and the ground, for the first time in over 60 years, is where American boots are moving forward. The operation is hours old, and it is nowhere near finished. What happens when these Marines push deeper? That's the next video. Subscribe, because this story has only just started.